better than expected earnings from many firms seems to be what continues to fuel the rally on the Nigerian bourse. What are you making of the activity we're seeing on the markets at the moment?
Thank you for having me this morning. I think the impressive results released by a few of the companies recently has actually contributed to the uptick we've been seeing in the performance of the ASI and the share and the stock exchange. This week. Of notable importance is the performance of Oando. The financials released yesterday was actually very impressive. It exceeded the forecast by most analysts, and the corporate actions that the company proposed are also very, very, very impressive.
Well, certainly if we hone in on Oando's numbers, as you say, the market clearly impressed where we had that full year result showing impressive gains, a payment also of a cash dividend of 3 naira along with a 1-for-2 scrip issue. In some instances, growth did seem unobtainable for this company, though, considering the normalized direct cost of sales and interest expenses as well. But we had profit before tax growing 26%. Now, some have attributed this increase in earnings to a restructuring of their interest expenses. Are you comfortable with the position the company is in at the moment?
Yes, I am. I'm very, very comfortable and optimistic that the company will be able to continue to post this kind of impressive earnings. We must not forget that last year, a lot of the fuel importers into the country, and Oando is one of them. For a while, they actually stopped importation. So in the last quarter of last year, we had that impact on the market generally. So that could have accounted for the reduction or the reduction in the turnover, or the turnover not meeting up with expectations. But in terms of profitability, the company is on a right track. We must also recall that they just concluded a very successful rights issue, and that's going to also go a long way in reducing the interest expense of the company. So we think that in the longer term, the company is going to continue to do very well. In
terms of its dividend policy, we saw that proposed dividend of 3 naira coming to the fore yesterday. This payout ratio of about 35%, many saying should be expected over the next few years, considering the capex plans this company has. Do you share that sentiment with regards to the company's dividend policy specifically?
I do. But dividend policy of any company is still subject to the board decision of such a company. So if the board decides to maintain this kind of dividend policy, I think it's something that the market will still appreciate. We must also recall that part of the capex that Oando will be investing in is in acquiring additional rigs. Now, these are investments that are going to bring in additional income into the company, but the initial outflows will be huge. So I think if Oando is able to explain to their investors that we're willing to maintain this kind of dividend policy, it's a good thing, and I'm sure investors will continue to react positively to it, knowing fully well that they can also do with good capital appreciation of the stock. Well,
certainly those results driving Oando's share price higher, but it wasn't the lone performer in the oil and gas space. Yesterday we had Mobil, Total and African Petroleum all closing limit up. So sentiment around the oil and gas space in general pretty upbeat at the moment, it would seem, right?
Yeah, it is. We are aware that, like I mentioned earlier, the challenges that the industry had in the last quarter of last year with respect to importation has been addressed somewhat by the arrangement between NNPC, PPRA, and the government generally in issuing sovereign note guarantees to allow these companies to continue to import when they want to import. But we also think that a few of these companies will do better than the other. If the regulation comes on stream, it's going to be beneficial to the companies as well. Having said that, a few of these companies have better investors relations capabilities than others. So we expect the companies like AP, like Oil, to also improve on their investors relations abilities in the coming months.